Hi everybody, Arkush here for Pro Football Weekly, and the bell has rung on debate class again. The captains of our debate team here at Pro Football Weekly. On my right, Associate Editor Dan Parr. On my left, Associate Editor Arthur Arkush. They're going to go at it again. And the question this week, who do you think is the most valuable player in the National Football League for 2012? Arthur, we'll come to you first.
I'm going with the most dominant player in the NFL. That is Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. We all know about the stupid numbers. He's got a good shot at breaking Eric Dickerson's nearly 30-year-old single-season rushing record. He's doing it all on his own. Over the past 8 games, Adrian Peterson has more rushing yards than Christian Ponder does passing yards. That is simply ridiculous and really is the strongest argument I can make in this debate.
Now, we hope that's not a comment on Christian Ponder, but I will turn to Dan Parr. And Dan, who is your candidate?
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. You think about what he's encountered this season. Injuries on the offensive line. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league. Injuries at running back and a mediocre at best running game that ranks 20th in the league. Injuries to Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings. Yet, as we sit here today, he's the highest ranked passer in the NFL. The Packers are NFC North champions and headed back to the playoffs, and he's the biggest reason why. So Rodgers, for all those reasons, he's my choice.
All right, guys, now it's easy to give your choice, but now I come back to you, Arthur. Why is Adrian Peterson a better choice than Aaron Rodgers? And then you're going to get the reverse question in a minute. Yeah.
Vikings won 2 games last season. I believe without Adrian Peterson's superhuman effort, they may be somewhere along the same lines this season. I believe he has already likely saved some jobs in that building. And to me, I think it's kind of an apples to oranges when you're talking a running back to a quarterback comparison. You really can't do it. I realize this award has almost become a quarterback's award, but to me, I get back to the most dominant player. He has been by far the most excellent at his position. He's done it with nothing around him. If you look at the league today, they are doing everything they can to promote the passing game, to help quarterbacks, help wide receivers. Adrian Peterson's doing this with 8, 9 men in the box. He's not getting any help. He is just imposing his will on opponents, and he is having a special, special season.
Dan?
Well, I think when you're talking about this award, you have to look at the complete picture of the season. And Adrian Peterson's been amazing for the past 8 games. We look at the first 6 games of the season. He's averaging a little over 80 yards per game, only had 2 touchdowns. And the Vikings were, over this incredible streak he's had, only 4-4 in those games. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, through those first 6 games of the season, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions by the end of that span. And, I think if you look at the complete picture of these 2 players' season, over the long haul, Rodgers has been the more consistent, more complete, and the more valuable player.
All right, guys, now I have one more question for each of you. It will be the same question. If this were a debate about comeback player of the year, I believe Adrian Peterson's a slam dunk. If it was for player of the year or offensive player of the year, I'd be voting for Aaron Rodgers. But Dan, I'm going to ask you first. Explain to me how Aaron Rodgers is more valuable to the Green Bay Packers than Peyton Manning is to the Denver Broncos.
Well, I think that the reasons I laid out earlier is that Aaron Rodgers has had to deal with more in terms of injuries. I don't think the running game that Peyton Manning has. I think Aaron Rodgers would love to have no Sean Moreno at this point in the season. He has not had that benefit for the most part, and Peyton Manning's wide receivers have been healthy and on the field. So I think Aaron Rodgers, you take him out of the equation, you take Peyton Manning out of the equation, neither of these teams are anywhere close to where they are with those players. But I just think Rodgers has overcome more this year.
All right, Arthur, again, comeback player for me, it's Peterson and a slam dunk. But Peyton Manning has meant an awful lot to the Denver Broncos, and it looks like they're going to be a number 2 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, all those things are correct. The Broncos were also in the playoffs last season. The Broncos are also playing very well on both sides, actually all 3 phases of the game right now. So while I'm not going to pretend that they'd still be where they are, 9-game winning streak without Peyton Manning, I think there are more factors to their success than there are to Minnesota's, which is really the singular effort of Adrian Peterson, which has them in the playoffs as of today.
All right, guys, I'm calling this one a draw and throwing it to the judges' scorecards, which is you guys. Great debate here. It's going to go on for another couple of weeks. For this and more, everything you need to enjoy the National Football League, all the best in news, notes, and analysis, stay dialed in right where you are at ProFootballWeekly.com.